Do you want to learn how to make the best Mexican corn salad anyone could ever eat in their entire life? Then we need to hang out for a little bit today because that's what we're doing. My name's Ben, but all my friends call me bruh, and welcome to On today's episode, we're going to be making one of my favorite side dishes, and that's my version of a Mexican corn salad that I like to call elevated elote. I'm going to provide you with different options as we progress through this video in the ingredient list because I want everyone to have the chance to make this and enjoy it. Just remember, the better ingredients, the better result. You know the old saying, you get out what you put in? Same thing. The first option I'm going to give you starts with the main ingredient, and that is corn. And you can go a couple of different ways with this. Option number one, you can take the corn on the cob, lay it on your grates directly above the coals, and roll it around until the outside starts to char slightly, which is a phenomenal option. Number two, you can take this in its raw state, cut the kernels off, and cook it using the method that I'm going to today. But I'm not going to do that because we're going with this today. You're not too good to eat canned corn. And besides, not everyone has access to a grill, and I want this to be for everyone to enjoy. So let's get to it. So let's first get our burner set up, light it, turn it back to about medium high. Gonna take our favorite non-Teflon skillet, throw that stuff away. We're gonna heat the skillet up for around 30 seconds or so, then we're gonna add oil. We're gonna be using avocado oil today because it has a really high smoke point and a very neutral taste. Butter is not recommended. One thing to add about the corn, just don't drain it from the can and then expect to pour it in without getting a lot of popping and sizzling. Go ahead and pour it into a colander like I have here and allow it to sit for several minutes, because if any excess moisture from the corn hits that hot oil, you're gonna get splatters everywhere. Add our oil. About 3 tablespoons. Coat the pan generously. Give it about another 5 or 10 seconds. Add your corn. Move it around to coat the corn as best as possible. Let it hang out here for a minute or two. We'll come back. Get you a screen too. These things are a lifesaver for your countertops. It's been about a minute and the corn's starting to pop. Move it around. Even it back out on your pan. About another minute's passed. Really gonna get some action now. Hopefully you can see some of it's already starting to brown. That's from the sugars in the corn caramelizing to the bottom of the pan. We're not looking to cook on high heat here. Medium high is fine. Even it out. In another minute, we'll check back on it. It's just popping away now. So we're now about 3 minutes in, and you can see that this is starting to take on some color on a lot of the kernels. Still not to where we want it though. Probably gonna cook this for about another 2 minutes tops. And I'm not gonna keep interrupting after each minute. I'm just gonna come back and show you what the final product's gonna look like. Won't be long now though. After about 6 or 7 minutes, this is what you're looking for. Nothing's really burned. There is a little bit of char on some of them, and that's okay. You'd get the same effect if you were using it on a grill over open coals, but you've got a lot of nice color and a good bit of flavor on those. So since these are done cooking, we're gonna transport them into a bowl, put them in the fridge to where they completely cool. Now we're gonna start working on our other ingredients. Keeping with the trend of providing new options in this recipe, I wanna present a red onion and a shallot. You can either go with 100% red onion, or you can go with 100% shallot, or you can go with a combination of the two. Sometimes these are easier to find than these, so with whatever you have at your local grocery store, you'll be okay. I do, however, suggest staying away from yellow or white onions for this recipe because these are a little more subtle and are great in dishes that don't require the onion to be cooked. But for this recipe, we're going all shallot. So since we've decided to use 100% shallot, I want to show you the best way to break these little guys down because this outer skin can be tough to remove sometimes all in one piece. So we'll start by removing the top edge. Cut off the root end. Now, if you plan on using a mandolin to slice these, always keep your root end on because that gives you more onion that you won't have to throw away. Now we're gonna take and make one cut down the center of this, but we're not gonna cut all the way through to where we can easily open and peel. We've got a little surprise. Anytime you come across an onion or a piece of garlic that has green on the inside, that means that this is a little bit older and is starting to sprout. You wanna go ahead and remove these before you start slicing into them because that will cause your dish to have a bitterness to it. Peel away that, peel away this, and you're done. We are going with thin slices here today, so something like that. We're looking for somewhere between 1/2 cup and 3/4 cup, and that looks good to me. The next ingredient we're going with is a scallion. Just one, and we're only looking for the green parts. Square up the ends. I like to cut these on a bias. Just gives it a little more of an appearance factor to it. Save this for later, throw it away. That's what we're looking for. And that's what we're working with so far. Next ingredient is going to be 2 jalapenos. One I'm going to break down and I'm going to remove the seeds and all the spines from the inside. Now I'm going to slice and then dice. Square it up the best you can. Small dice. Looking good. Another quick shot of our ingredients so far. And for this one, I'm going to bring my burner back out. Oh yeah, wash your hands after cutting and touching all those too. And with the burner back out, I'm going to take my favorite kitchen utensils, which are these tweezers. So what I'm intending to do here is I'm going to fire roast this jalapeno over this burner. If you don't have a burner like this or a gas stove, you can easily place this on a cookie sheet and roast it in the oven. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the end of these and I'm going to poke straight through the end of this jalapeno carefully, so it's easier to rotate it over the flame. It doesn't have to be high heat. Not only do I want to char this, but I want to cook the inside meat of the jalapeno a little bit as well to soften it up. Burner on. Turn it back a little bit. We're going to sit here for a couple minutes. Rotating ever so slowly. Don't be in a rush, take your time. It's starting to smell pretty good. And for me, I want this to look like how I like my hot dogs coming off the grill or the marshmallows at the campfire when I'm making s'mores. Looking good to me. Now we'll bring our board back out. Take our jalapeno. We're not gonna grab it with our hands because that's still pretty hot. We're just gonna take our knife that we've been using and we're gonna take the back of it. We're gonna slide it. And we're gonna push it off. Safety first, and let it cool for a second or two because it's still warm to touch. Now that our pepper's cooled off and it's safe to handle, we've got one of two options here. You can either remove this if you want to, or you can leave it on. Me personally, I'm gonna leave it on because I like the flavor that it gives the dish. Totally up to you. We're all about options on this channel. And I'm gonna prepare it the same way that I did the uncharred one. Remove this end, slice it down the middle, and remove everything from the inside. You'll notice that this one's a little bit easier to remove everything because everything's nice and soft. Same thing, slice, dice. Very nice. Getting closer. And the last ingredient that we're going to be using that requires a cutting board, cilantro. And the reason that I chose to make this the last ingredient because this is the messiest ingredient of them all. We're going to chop this up real fine. We're going to use a lot of the real estate of the cutting board, and we're looking for 2 tablespoons. I've also swapped out the smaller knife for the workhorse in the kitchen. So to begin, I'm going to bunch the top of these leaves up and get to chopping. Now with the tops of the leaves removed, this is going to be a little bit more than what the recipe calls for once it's finely chopped. But if you're making this recipe and you're going to use it like my family and I do, you're going to be having tacos or some other type of Mexican dish where you're going to want some cilantro. So again, we're going to chop this up fine, get our 2 tablespoons, and put the rest in another container for further use. Bench scraper, top of the line measuring spoon, 2 tablespoons. There's 1, there's 2. Now that we're done with this portion of the recipe, the corn should be properly chilled and we can mix these together and move on to adding our dry seasoning, our cheese, and our mayonnaise. The next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna start breaking down our cheese. Now this is Cotija cheese. If you wanna make traditional street corn, this is what you use. Some people will say that you can use Parmesan as a substitute. I've tried it. I don't really care for it. I really suggest you finding this and using this for this recipe. This is 12 ounces. We only need 6 ounces for the recipe. So I'm gonna unpackage it, tear it in half, and show you how we're gonna break this cheese down. Pretty simple package. It's gonna take, we're just gonna drag our knife along the back of it. Fairly simple. It's gonna break it in half. Gonna take the half that I want, leave that in the package, put it in a Ziploc bag, store it in the fridge until it starts to mold. That's how you do cheese, right? Now this is a crumbly cheese, so all we really need to do is put it in a Ziploc bag. If you want to pick it up and break it in smaller pieces, that's fine. But this is the method that I use. No, seriously, it's not that difficult to break up. It just takes a little bit of time. Try and get it as fine as you possibly can. You don't want a whole lot of big chunks in your corn salad, but a few here or there won't hurt. Something like that works just fine. The amount of mayonnaise for the recipe is a 1/2 cup and a tablespoon and a half of tahini. Now let's get to mixing everything. Now in the combining process, these 4 ingredients, you can combine however you want to, but we want to add the cheese last. What I've found is if you don't add the cheese last, it's going to stick to some of the other ingredients in here and it's not going to combine well enough. So if everything's coated with the oil and the mayonnaise, the cheese clumps a lot less. I probably don't know what I'm talking about, but that's what I've found. Smaller bowl into bigger bowl. Mix, mix, mix. Half of the seasoning, and about 3/4. Last little bit of seasoning. Now for the mayo. And once you see that all this is combined really well, we're going to take it and we're going to set it in the fridge under some plastic wrap for at least an hour to allow all those flavors to kind of mingle together. And after it's been allowed to hang out for a while, this is what we've got. Some nice, beautiful Mexican corn salad. Want to elevate this even more? Let's add some dark chili powder. And to me, my friends, that is a work of art. Enjoy. I appreciate you hanging out with me today, and I really hope you try this recipe. And if you do, come back to the comments and let me know what you think. The recipe is posted in the description below, along with affiliate links to some of the items that I used in today's video. If you like what I'm doing on the channel, go ahead and do a couple things for me by hitting the like button on the video, the subscribe button on the channel, and the bell notification to where you don't miss any new content that I'm going to be putting out. And until we meet again next time, this is your barbecue brother, signing out. Later.